Environmental protesters opposed to Heathrow's expansion plans had hoped to catch the police on the hop by building their camp days earlier than expected. They got a swift and powerful response. 1,800
officers will be on duty throughout the week-long demonstration, but that will leave 30 London boroughs desperately short of police.
Hundreds of protesters from across the UK and Europe have already turned up, with 1,500 more expected by tomorrow's official start.
They've pitched their tents underneath the route of the proposed third runway and don't rule out direct action. Their camp, though, is outside the airport itself, between Heathrow's northern perimeter and the M4.
And the campaigners say their aim is not to disrupt people's travel plans, but to start a debate about airport-linked environmental damage. Sarah Saunders is at the site, from where she sent us this report.
Protesters at the climate change camp near Heathrow took police by surprise by gathering early for the event, which wasn't due to start until tomorrow. At 7:30 this morning, police repaid the favour, giving protesters an unannounced early morning wake-up call. They said so they could inspect the site. And already there is friction between campaigners and officers. Massive resources are being dedicated to this camp. Some 1,800 police officers from 4 surrounding counties will be deployed here over the next week. That means possibly more police than environmentalists. Officers say they're concerned only with public safety. Camp organisers making claims of obstruction.
We're not terrorists, you know. We know that, you know that, they know that. We shouldn't be treated as such. They've been seeing us roads, been trying to set up a safe, healthy camp here. They said they were going to facilitate peaceful protest. They've been obstructing it. We've been just trying to get, water piping, stuff like that on, and they've been stopping it.
Not everyone accepts the premise behind this camp, that airports like Heathrow are among the world's most significant polluters, pointing instead to massive industrialisation in China and vast deforestation. But campaigners have found support in some perhaps unlikely corners. Their cause coincides with middle-class local residents fiercely against airport expansion.
They're helping us, obviously, to try and fight what we're trying to fight, to stop all this runway going through. I mean, it's not fair, as you say, we've lived here 40 years.
Meanwhile, the British Airport Authority say that with an ever-present terror threat, the camp is an unacceptable draw on police and security resources.
We take the threat to disruption very seriously, not just because the operation in Heathrow is so complex and busy, but also from what we've seen before by the Camp for Climate Change action at Drax last year and on their website when they talk about direct action. It's quite clearly this is a threat to the operation, which we're going to keep our eyes on very closely.
And campaigners confirm there will be a day of direct action. The details, though, not yet clear. Sarah Saunders for ITV News.
And we can speak now to one of the campaign organisers, Anna Jackson, who, as you can see, is there live for us at Heathrow. Anna Jackson, you've taken 1,800 police off the streets of London and boosted your own carbon footprint just to get there. What is the point of this protest?
Climate change is the biggest issue threatening humanity, and, if police resources are put into stopping the disruption caused by the floods, well, that kind of thing is just going to continue with climate change. And climate change is caused by the release of greenhouse gases. Aviation is the fastest growing emitter of carbon dioxide. And
that's simply not true, Anna Jackson. All of the scientific research shows that the production of electricity and coal-fired power stations far outstrip aircraft, as indeed do the cars and buses you presumably travel to Heathrow on.
As I said, aviation is the fastest growing contributor. It's because the percentage of emissions from aviation are getting to be a much larger and larger proportion. So aviation really is the key issue, and we can't continue to fly as much as we are, never mind expanding Heathrow. Saying that we're going to build a third runway would be like building a new Drax power station right here on this land.
So how are you going to take direct action, as Gary Dwyer just told us in our report, without breaking the law?
No one said that there's going to be no breaking the law. What we've said is that the main aim of the action isn't going to be disrupting passengers from getting to the airport. We've also said that there's not going to be any attempts to kind of go over the fence, as it were, or onto runways, because that would be a big safety issue. But certainly people have broken the law for what they believe in throughout history. I wouldn't have the vote if it wasn't for the suffragettes breaking the law, for me to have the rights that I have. And climate change, as I said, it's the biggest threat to humanity. We have to, the scientists have spoken, we have to reduce our greenhouse gas emissions globally by 60%. If we're going to do that equally across the world, that means a 90% cut in this country. And so that means really challenging the model of economic growth and the corporations that are causing this problem, like BAA.
All right. In a phrase, Anna Jackson, is the M25 on your target list?
No.
Thank you. I wanted to clarify that. We'll watch with interest, and thank you for joining us this afternoon, Anna Jackson.
And we ask for your views on air travel as part of the daily debate. Should it be restricted to save the planet?
And here are some of the views from our citizen correspondents.
I think their choice of Heathrow during prime holiday time is reprehensible, adding an extra burden to the police and security forces and possibly increasing the risk of terrorist action.
My opinion is the world has suffered cycles over the millennia, and I think we're probably in just another one of those cycles. But that's only my opinion.
Is it really going to make any difference if we decide to take one flight less? Who's going to monitor how many flights we take? Will it be rationed? And at the end of the day, will it make so much of a dramatic change?
And if you'd like to join the debate, go to our website, itv.com/news, to find out how you can.